Alright, let me get my name going. Alright, you guys ready?
Yes, we are.
Y'all are ready? I am ready. I hope the chat's ready.
Who are you?
What is going on, everybody? I am ThatsFairZack, and this is going to be Lufia 2 Ancient Cave. I would like to try and explain what's going on right now, but you'll probably hear more about that during the run. We're going to try and beat this again like we did last year, and of course, I am having internet troubles again for the second year in a row, but I think we'll be fine. So we're going to try and get through this, and without further ado, we're going to start this run. You guys ready?
Go for it.
Yes, we are.
Alright, countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, y'all can introduce yourselves.
Alright, I am ShadowKiller4826, and with me helping me commentate is...
Volt. Not much to say other than that. My Twitch name is Michel VD Linden, but just easier. And right now we are going to watch ThatsFairZack play Lufia 2 Rise of the Sinistrals. He will be playing the Ancient Cave subcategory of the game, which I guess Shadow Killer could tell us more about that.
Okay, so the Ancient Cave is a 100-floor randomly generated dungeon. It's a roguelike, so you start with 0 equipment, start in level 1, and everything that you need to complete the dungeon you find in the cave. So normally we would be going through this very quickly, especially the first few floors, but Zach is going to be doing a little bit of marathon strats, just getting some extra levels, fighting a few more enemies, getting some extra chests, and just trying to play it as safe as he possibly can. Now, that being said, this run can just kind of decide to quit. There are certain things that can happen, and we'll get into this a little bit later, but there are certain things that can happen which Zach will have no control over, which can possibly just end his run. So hopefully we don't get any of that, and hopefully we get lots of good luck, lots of good treasure chests, and have an easy time with this.
We both know that's never going to happen.
Absolutely not.
There is
We know
probably a
that.
good 30-minute buffer. So, like, even if I died 30 minutes into the run, which there's really only a couple things that would do that, I could still go back in and safely complete it in an hour and a half. So, around 30
Yes.
minutes is probably the buffer to be able to go back in.
Yep, that is pretty much the point of no return. Or you could, actually PB, and in that case you have a 50-minute buffer-ish, but that is really stretching it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna PB.
I think
Well,
you're
if you
already
do PB.
behind pace, so...
If you do PB, Elmagus would probably beat it by 7 seconds.
Probably.
So, for those familiar with the Ancient Cave, and for those who aren't, you'll see that in addition to the 4 party members that Zach has, he also has a capsule monster, which is that little plant guy over there on the right side of the battle screen. His name is Darby. Normally, we would be using Sully, who is a little radish, but for safety's sake, we're using Darby. Darby, he is slower, but he is much safer, especially in his later forms. He learns some instant death attacks. He also learns some dark attacks, which are very rare to begin with. So things like Evil Aura and things like Terminate, which he learns much later on, are super powerful. They're not as strong as Sully's attacks, but he uses them much more reliably than Sully. So that's why we are using Darby for now.
There's some really good things about Darby. I mean, he does have the instant death attacks and everything that are really good. He does have very consistent damage. He, because of the fact that out of all the capsule monsters, he does use his special attacks more than any other pet. Sully is, although, like they were saying, the faster pet, he's very unreliable with damage, but you really only have to get one good hit from Sully to make up all the damage lost from the other capsule monsters that you use. But there have been way too many runs I've had where Sully did nothing at all on the jelly. and it's not really worth the risk if we're trying to take him out during a marathon.
Yeah, and for those who are unfamiliar with the final boss of this dungeon is in fact a gigantic red jelly who calls himself the Master. We'll probably get into that later on, but I will explain that early. I will explain it right now, in part at least. You are on a time limit when fighting the jelly. You have to do an incredible amount of damage within 3 rounds. And the capsule monster is very relevant in dealing that damage. It can literally be the difference between beating the jelly or losing the battle. Which is the reason why Zack picked, or one of the reasons why Zack picked Darby, because he is just much more offensive than, say, Sully. The thing is, if you pick Sully and he does decide to attack, he will hit like a truck. But that's a big if, because Sully tends to defend more than any other capsule monster in the game. Whereas Darby will be, if not attacking normally, he will be spamming his specials way more. In Darby's case, that is also a risk, because in his later forms, like Shadow mentioned, he learns some instant kill spells, which do not affect the jelly, so that can also be a wasted turn. Granted, the odds of that happening are still lower than Sully defending, but it can happen. And it's just one of the many examples of things that Zack has no control over during the run.
So, as you guys can see, this game is incredibly RNG heavy and dependent. A lot of runners will say, oh, the RNG in this sucks. This game is nearly all RNG. Every chest, every floor, every enemy is all randomly generated the moment that you walk down the stairs. For every stair that you can step on, there are 16 different floors that can be generated, depending on the frame you step on the stairs. So you'll never, ever get the same cave twice if you're playing normally. The game can be manipulated. Like I said, if you step on the stairs at the same frame every time, you'll get the same cave. But we don't really play that way. We like the randomness. It's just kind of the part of the challenge. So you never know what you're going to get. That being said, the cave is kind of set up in a certain pattern. The same enemies will always appear in the same ranges of floors. Weapons will start appearing at the same time, but you never know what you're going to find in the chest.
That is a nice find by Zack
Thunder
just
Ring.
now.
Why don't you tell them about the Thunder Ring, Bull?
I wanted to interject real quick.
Yeah.
Sure.
When it comes to like the RNG of the cave, which is probably the main reason why this run usually gets taken out of marathons, there's a few things. Just like any speedrun, being able to complete it is obviously the big concern. But just like any marathon that you do, you can tell the difference between an experienced player and a non-experienced player. You will be able to see like unexperienced players make very terrible, very easily avoidable mistakes, whereas an experienced player would more than likely not have made it, thus proceeding further into the cave. I was excited about that blue chest, but it's not really that good.
Dude, that's still a good weapon.
I can't use it. It's female.
No, unfortunately not.
Only, I think.
So real quick, that chest that he just picked up with that blaze sword was a blue chest, and it's probably obviously it's the first one we've seen. Blue chests are stronger, rarer weapons. And if you're playing in the normal game mode, just, you get to Grubrick, you get to the Ancient Cave. If you find a blue chest and you complete the cave or you Providence out, which is the only way to escape, you can take that weapon with you for the rest of the game. So, unfortunately, though, the Blaze Sword can only be used by Salon, who we do not have in our party right now. But, Volt, the Thunder Ring, tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. In this game, you have rings of different elements, and each ring boosts your spell damage by significant amounts. There are normal rings.
Oh boy.
Oh man. Oh. Ooh.
That still ended well.
It's all good. Continue, dude. I'm sorry.
Yes. No. That's all fine.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Not bad.
That's a good find. But yes, there are normal rings and there are super. The game's programming in the Ancient Cave, I'm not sure if it was intended or if it's a bug or not, but you can only find certain items in the first 9 floors of the game. The cave, I mean. After that, you cannot find certain items anymore. Rings and jewels and rocks are part of those items. To find a thunder ring or any sort of elemental ring in the early floor is a massive boost for characters like Artie, who are spellcasters. The thunder ring in particular is a exceptional good find to have, because one of the strongest spells in the game is thunder. It's not the strongest spell. Zack can still find the spell called Zap, which is Artie's strongest spell. But assuming he does not find it, and thunder is almost a guaranteed. It is not a rare find, it is pretty common to have it. If he gets that on Artie, that is almost a guaranteed 400 to 500 damage per turn on Artie against the Ancient. So it is a very good find.
So a minute ago we found a Thundo jewel, which is a nice jewel. Yeah, unfortunately we're having some internet issues. Nothing too bad, but a couple of frame drops. So we apologize for that. Hopefully we don't have any major issues. But anyway, the Thundo jewel increases attack power, so he gave that to Decker. Decker is going to be his strongest attacker for this run, so he's just going to keep him as powerful as possible. So we're going to talk briefly about some of the things he's looking for in these chests. Now, there are some weapons out there that are, nothing is necessary per se to complete this dungeon, but some things are a huge help. The first things you can find are the Deadly Rod and the Deadly Sword. Both of those items are cursed. Oh boy. Well, hold on. Let's see what we got. Wake me up.
Zack, you have to sing it. You have to sing it.
I ain't singing nothing, dude. Forget it.
Alright, so real quick, sorry, let me segue. Iris helmet is completely useless. It's a collectible. There are 9 items, plus you get one for completing the dungeon. If you get all 10, what do you get? You get absolutely nothing. The game is silly that way. So it's basically just a waste of a chest. So that's kind of why he's a little upset about it, because you need every item you could possibly get. Guys, thank you so much for waking me up.
Wake us up.
Makes me so happy. What was I talking about? I can't remember. Oh, well.
Waste of a chest.
Oh, the Deadly Rod, Deadly Sword. They are cursed weapons, so once you equip them, you cannot remove them without an item called a Curse Lifter. But what they do is they have an 80% chance of causing instant death to any enemy that isn't undead or resistant to instant death. Obviously, that's a huge help along the way. Yeah, absolutely. 80% in quotes. Because whenever you need it, it never works.
That was a really bad floor 11, by the way, because it took away from my cores.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you didn't see any cores on there.
And Flash is a thunder spell, which we just spoke about. Flash is one of the spells that will be boosted by the Thunder Ring. Zack will probably never use it except for cores, but it is an example. The cores that Zack just found are special enemies found in the overworld, in the normal game, and in the dungeon. And they are the most sought after enemies I think in casual games as well. What they do is they give an extreme amount of XP. Nice one, Zack. They give an extreme amount of XP compared to any other mob for maybe 10 to 15 floors to come. If you can find cores and kill them, you are guaranteed several levels up, and they are a must-have for Ancient Cave runners.
Yeah, if you're playing... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, there are different types of cores. You start off with the red
Alright,
cores,
good
which you
stuff
find
so far. Good stuff,
early
good
on.
stuff.
You start off with the red cores early on, and then you later on run blue cores, green cores, and eventually no core. And each of them will always be faster than your party. It's basically another question of RNG that the game will or will not allow you to have the XP. If you are lucky, then the cores will stay and attack your party for reasonable damage. If you're unlucky, they will just run away and waste your time.
Yeah, the cores are kind of relative to metal slimes, metal babbles. If you've played Dragon Quest games, they usually run away, but if you manage to kill them, they give you tons of experience. That being said, because Zack has been fighting so many enemies, the red cores are not going to be as important as they normally would. A minute ago, you may have seen him pick up a spell called Strong. Strong is a healing spell, and it's actually technically the weakest healing spell, but it's actually also one of the best. And the reason for that is the amount of health you get back for the amount of MP that it uses is better than the mid healing spell. So it's actually a really good one to have. And actually, by the time you get to a higher level, Strong can basically heal a character in a single use. So it's a very good find. He found it early too, which is great. One of the biggest struggles in running this game is never finding a healing spell. So it's a good thing he found that. It's going to make this a lot safer from here on out.
Yes, and finding the lower level version of it is very useful because of MP management early on. As we already discussed, this game can literally make or break a run at a whim. You can go for 70 floors without ever finding a healing spell, but finding...
Ooh! Ooh!
We found something good.
I'm a little bit
not
so...
that amazing, but still.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
That's excellent. Yes, as I was saying, the game can decide to make or break a run on a whim. You can go for 70 floors without ever finding a healing spell, but you'll find all the potions and all the MP potions, and you'll be fine. You can also just find a healing spell on the first floor and never find any MP regeneration at all. I've had that happen personally. It is not fun because you have your healing spell, but you cannot use it. Finding a good combination of healing to MP is just it's not to be underestimated for this run.
So yeah, he found the Sky Sword, which is a very strong weapon. It was a blue, like you saw. So as you can see, Decker is taking away massive amounts of damage now. Whenever he gets into a battle, you may notice that the enemies are actually in rows, just like your characters are. There's a front and a back row to the enemy patterns. And if they're in the back row, they take less damage by physical attacks, and if they're in the front, they take more damage. So you'll see him, for the most part, taking out the front row first, followed by the back row. If it's a lower level enemy like he's fighting right now, and he has a sword like the Sky Sword, he can attack anything he wants. He'll just one-shot it. So he's doing pretty well. He's in good shape. I think we're on around floor 15. So something to note is starting on floor 15, a weapon called the Decker Blade can be dropped. Now, the Decker Blade obviously is named for the only person who can use it, which is Decker, and it is a huge find in killing the jelly at the end. There's something called IP attacks, which I'll let Volt talk about here in just a second. And weapons and armor have these IP attacks, and the IP attack for the Fatal Blow, or for the Decker Blade, is Fatal Blow, which does 50% of the current enemy's HP. So as Volt said earlier, the jelly at the end's got a ton of life, and you only have 3 rounds to kill it, so being able to do 50% damage in one turn is huge help. So obviously we want to find that if possible. But Volt, if you want to talk about IP attacks real quick.
Yeah, IP attacks are formed based on the amount of IP points that you have, or Ikari points, which basically means rage points. People who've played Final Fantasy games may be familiar with the phrase limit break. Ikari points are basically your limit breaks, except you don't use the entire bar entirely for a lot of attacks. What happens is, a lot of items in this game have an IP attack. You can actually check it in the status screen and just check the items in question. Weapons have specific attacks, armors can heal you or cure you of status ailments and stuff like that. And rocks and jewels all have different effects on them. The Decker Blades is arguably the most damage dealing attack in the entire game. Like, there are other items that can deal more damage, but they are not in the Ancient Cave. Finding the Decker Blade this early on would be a godsend for any runner.
Yeah, it's just a giant relief, because that's basically what you're looking for the whole time. Alright, he just found a healing tile. I'll talk about that real quick. Underneath some of the bushes...
Did you see my indicator where I was swimming
Yes, I did. Thank you. So sometimes you'll find a bush in the cave that doesn't look like the other ones, and if you go up and slash it with your sword, there'll be a red tile underneath, and that is a healing tile. It will restore all of your HP to all of your characters. They can be life-saving if you find them. Without, like we said, you never know if you're going to find a healing spell, if you're going to find potions or what you need, so if you find one of those, it can definitely be a lifesaver.
And I'm pretty sure before the internet, everyone had a friend who played this game, and they insisted on finding a magic recovery.
Yeah.
But no,
there are lots
they
of
do not
rumors.
Exist. They are rumored, they do not exist in the game.
Yeah.
Well, not in the Ancient Cave.
So, yeah, I apologize about the internet. I tried to get it fixed like the day before. I don't really know what's going on with it, and I had a whole debacle with them trying to get it out, and it was awful, and they ended up just not doing anything. I'm sorry. I tried to get it fixed. I don't really know why it's down. We had a lot of bad weather here, and some tornadoes kind of messed up everything. I'm from Louisiana, so I don't know if that's it or if it's just personal residential area. I apologize for it again. There's nothing I can do about it.
So he just found an item or a weapon called the Launcher. I guess it's a crossbow, and that's what it looks like. But it and a lot of weapons throughout the game will have elemental properties or just some sort of... I don't know what you would call it, but launchers are good against flying enemies. So if he runs into, dragons or any sort of flying enemy and equips that, it'll do extra damage. There are also weapons that are holy. There are fire, ice, and knowing enemies' weaknesses is a huge benefit. A lot of people that run this game, and I personally did it for years. I just ran the game and didn't even think about that sort of stuff. I just tried to get through as fast as I could, find the Decker Blade, find the deadly weapons, and just go through. But if you don't find that stuff, you got to know other opportunities to get down to the bottom of the cave. So knowing enemies' elemental weaknesses, knowing the weapons' properties is a huge benefit. And that's another one of those things that kind of separates beginners from the more advanced runners.
Yes. I'd like to talk a moment about a spell that Zack just found, Destroy. This game has instant death mechanics like most other RPGs. Destroy is the instant killer spell in this game. Destroy has was it 80% as well, like the other items?
Is it? No, 50. Sorry.
Wait,
50.
Destroy is 50%, Perish is 25%.
just
If you
blanked out for a
multi-target those spells, the percentages
gets-
is halved every single time.
Yes.
For every enemy that's on the field. So if you split it amongst two enemies, you have a 25% chance on both enemies to instantly kill it. If you split it again, it's like a 12.5 chance. And to answer anyone's questions, yes, I have done it and killed 3 enemies before.
I want to see a highlight of that because I have never seen.
I mean, I wouldn't highlight
But-
it, just happens sometimes. I did it with genies and stuff occasionally.
Sure. But yes, anyway, instant death spells are not that important early on in the game because, well, most enemies still just die from your regular attacks. But later on, you will encounter enemies that have hundreds of health, if not thousands of health, and you simply do not want to waste the time fighting them. Simply because A, it's a time waste, and B, you're at that point where enemies can one-shot almost regardless of your level. You want to kill them as fast as you can, and Darby's instant death attacks, your instant death spells, and your instant death weapons are a massive factor in that, and that is why most speedrunners of this game will use instant death weapons whenever they can. For comparison's sake, at the last Lufia tournament that we had, I went 70 floors without an instant death. I could not kill anything past floor 60. It just took too much time.
I mean,
so finding that spell is already a good start.
Yeah, because of the nature of the speedrun, you are, I mean, obviously, just like any RPG speedrun, you are very underleveled for the enemies that you fight. So having the ability to just instantly kill something is definitely helpful. As you noticed, Zack is in a room with a lot of enemies and a lot of treasure chests. So real quick, I'm going to talk about kind of the programming of this game. So you have a chance whenever you enter any floor that whenever the floor is spawned, nearly all or all of the enemies and chests can just spawn in one room. And it happens more often than you would think. We call them treasure rooms, party rooms, monster rooms, a couple different names. But they can be very annoying because you have to take your time, you have to really watch the enemy's movements, manipulate them to go where you want them to go, to safely get the items and get out. Zack's going to be fighting a few more enemies than we normally would, but as you may have seen at the very beginning, he was standing there swinging his sword so that the scorpions would go into the corner and he wouldn't have to deal with them. So that's another big part of this run, is learning how to get the enemies to do what you want them to do. Enemies have, not every enemy, but most enemies have certain patterns they follow. For instance, the scorpions will move in relation to what direction you move. So if you move up, they move to the right. If you move right, they move down. Other enemies will teleport and then take a step, and then teleport and then take a step. Some will chase you around as soon as they see you, and they won't stop chasing you until you either kill them or go into a different room. Some enemies move twice for every step you take. Some take 3 of your steps to move once. It's just, you gotta learn them all. You gotta be able to react, and just be able to know what's going to happen before it actually happens.
Yes, there are. That's a problem that a lot of new game, that they are blindsided by certain enemy movements. In some cases, the enemies just are too unpredictable. There are enemies in this game called the samurai. You can try how much you want, they're almost unpredictable in every way. I would recommend anyone who wants to speedrun the Ancient Cave category to have a normal playthrough of the game, because the game kind of eases you into learning all different enemies over time. And it becomes so much easier to learn that way. Certain enemies, as Shadow mentioned, will just chase you until the heat depth of the universe, the end of time. They will never stop chasing you. Other enemies will only chase you for a couple of tiles, and it's so important to know which enemies chase you and which not, especially on the later floors.
Man, I am running into enemies left and right here, but luckily it's building up my IP, so it has a purpose.
So you may have noticed a few times that Zack has entered the menu and gone to the capsule title, and you can actually feed your capsule monsters. That's the way they kind of level up. They do gain levels through experience, just like your other characters. But if you have extra items, which you obviously will, you can level them up to new forms, and they'll learn new attacks. They get stronger, and so if he ever finds a cursed item, like he found the Lucky Blade and he found the Berserk Blade, those are both cursed items which we don't want to equip. He will immediately just feed them to the capsule monster, just to get rid of them, get them out of his inventory, because a lot of the times when he's equipping, he'll just use the strongest function just to optimize the equipment to the best it can be, and sometimes you'll actually get those cursed items equipped. So we want to get rid of them as soon as we can, and just get them out of the inventory just for safety's sake.
The Berserk Blade is probably responsible for ending more item in the game, because the plus side of most curse items is that they have an incredibly low battle rating, so auto attack usually does not equip them. The Berserk Blade is the exception to that because it gives you an insanely high battle rating despite being cursed, and it'll barely deal any damage. So when you get that item, just either dump it or feed it to your capsule monster, get rid of it because it will horribly ruin your character. Shadow was talking about capsule monsters earlier. There are 7 different capsule monsters in this game, which casually you can pick them up or you don't. They're not really, forced on you. That's completely up to you. In the Ancient Cave run, you automatically have all 7 capsule monsters on your party. It's up to you which one you pick. Starting with, I'll just discuss each one of them for a bit. The first one you get in casual playthrough would be Fumi, who is a neutral element monster, and neutral is probably one of the rarest elements in the game, even more so than Darby's Unholy or Darkness. It doesn't have any real strengths, it also doesn't have any weaknesses. So it's kind of it's a neutral capsule monster really. It's a relatively safe pick for casual playthrough. The downside is that in the Ancient Cave he just does not have the power for it to justify using it. Then you get Blaze, which is a fire capsule. He is up for debate if you want to use him or not. I personally like him, but he's also not extremely powerful unless you get him into his final form, in which case he will horrendous amounts of fire. But his stats are kind of on the low side when you start out, meaning he will run away whenever enemies just look at him. There's also Flash, who is unlike the spell, is actually a healing type capsule monster. He will heal your party, and most beginners will usually opt to go with Flash because he is kind of a safety pick as well. He will heal your characters randomly early on, and the more stronger his heals get. Downside of that is he has absolutely no attacks at all unless you master him. Or I guess his 4th form can also kind of attack, but you typically don't. Yeah, I guess his 3rd form can attack as well, but typically you don't take Flash for his offensive capability. Getting him to his master form is tedious, and it's usually not something you go for. Then you have the 4th monster, which is Gusto, if I remember correctly. Gusto is the capsule monster. He's the black sheep of the family. We generally don't like or talk about Gusto, and we just leave him in his corner and pretend he doesn't exist. Gusto is a wind type monster, and ironically he has the strongest attack in the entire game in his 4th form.
I was trying to go for EXP there, and then I realized I made a horrible mistake.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why are we fighting these?
I don't know, I had Dragon, I thought I could get a little bit of EXP because I'm kind of behind.
But yes, not Seppi. Gusto is the wind type, but he also has the lowest guts in the game, even lower than Darby. Which means if an enemy looks at him, he will run away. And he tends to spam his normal attacks, which isn't that bad, except he misses all. So Gusto is a capsule monster we generally don't use casually or in the Ancient Cave. The 5th monster would be, Sully, 4th or 5th, depending on whenever you pick him up. Sully is the soil type monster. He is essentially your tank capsule monster. If he hits hard, but the keyword there is if, because he tends to defend a lot. Elmagus could probably tell you a few stories about his battle rage or battle anger, because he is one of the rare people that actually have Sully attack twice with battle anger during a jelly fight, and that has never happened before. And it will never happen again. Then you have 2 capsule monsters left. One of them is Darby, which we're right now. He's the dark monster. He has instant kill attacks later on, and he's a very aggressive capsule monster. His master form has a spell called Elimination, I think, or Terminate, depending on your translation. And that is a all-hitting spell with roughly 80 to 90% success rate on instant killing. The downside is getting him to his M form, not recommended in this ancient cave, for reasons we will probably explain later. And finally you end up with Zeppi, which is the final capsule monster you will find in a regular playthrough. Zeppi is highly aggressive and spams his specials probably almost as much as Darby. The problem is water really doesn't hit enemies that much. I personally like him, but he's generally not favored over Darby or Sully.
I will go on record for saying that I actually really like Gusto. I don't really use him in the speedrun, like casually. I really like him. He's got some really strong attacks, and he's really fast, so he can be helpful. But so right now, Zach's kind of just going along, picking up chests. He's trying to get a little experience. He didn't get any red cores, so he's a little bit behind. But he's gonna choose his battles wisely, because he's almost to the next set of cores, which are blue cores. We'll be hopefully finding those in just a couple of floors, and getting some experience that way.
Which floor was Zach on right now?
I think he's on 29 or 30.
Oh, then this is going to be one of the scarier parts of the run, because everyone who runs this game will run into this monster. It is unique to the Ancient Cave, and it starts spawning at levels 29 to 31. I'm pretty sure Zach already knows which monster right now.
Of course he does.
Oh, I know. I'm aware, dude. I'm just trying to concentrate. I'm sorry. I'm between all the frames dropping and trying to no deadlies and stuff. I'm trying to keep my mind in a positive manner.
Oh, you're gonna need that.
Yes.
The monsters that will spawn at floor 29 and 30 and 31 are called Blue Mimics. Blue Mimics are the first monster ranked that you will... Well, they are ranked Nope. If you don't have to fight them, you never fight them. Blue Mimics are basically slightly different colored blue chests. And they are monsters, but they do not move. Now that doesn't sound too bad, except blue mimics have a nasty tendency to spawn against walls or spawn on top of stairs. And
Nice.
they are all sorts of scary. Blue mimics are... I have no other words for them. That is... Yeah. I mean, I could ask Zach to demonstrate and fight one, because he is still on 37 minutes, but... Let's say we did and we don't.
Yeah. So blue mimics, as Volt was saying, you know, they don't move, but they love to just. What are you doing? Why are you making me so nervous?
Zach, dude.
But they love to spawn on top of stairs or next to doors where you absolutely have to fight them. And they usually come in packs of 3 or 4, and they have a wonderful attack called Frenzy, which attacks everyone in your party, and it's very strong. And at this level, 2 or 3 frenzies will wipe out his party, and they're always faster than you.
Ooh.
So,
ooh.
Okay, can't wait. What we got?
I like how that's.
Yeah, there we go.
Ah, there we go.
Beautiful. So there's the Decker Blade we were talking about earlier. So that little song that just happened was a big sigh of relief from Zach. Now that he's got that, He can, if he wanted to, he could skip some floor, kind of move a little quicker, but he's on really good pace anyway, so I don't think he's going to be doing that.
There's still a few more things I need. I have no deadlies, and I could use a res spell.
Yeah. So, big find, very big find, but it's far from over.
Again, guys, I'm sorry about all the internet. There's nothing I can do.
It's alright, it's not...
I've only dropped 20,000 frames, it's fine.
That's it? Oh, that's not too bad.
It's about 4 minutes of footage.
So, starting on the next floor, I think he's on 31, so starting on the next floor...
I'm on 31, yeah.
So we can find blue cores, which hopefully we find lots of them and kill all of them. But if for some reason he doesn't find any, which won't happen, the next set starts at 41, so he doesn't have too far to go to get to the next set of cores. But really, I mean, if he can kill 1 or 2, he'll be in pretty good shape.
Oh, I wanted to kind of throw in a little fun fact about teleporting enemies. They do move in a variation of ways. Some teleport every single time you walk. Some teleport when you're close to them, some teleport when you're far away from them. But a good thing to note about teleporting enemies is they are still subject to environments. Like, if there's bushes or enemies in the way, they will have a pathing issue and will generally not teleport past them. So if you can get Maxim in a position behind a chest or a bush or something, the chances of an enemy jumping over it is very slim.
Right.
They are still subject to the pathing of the solid objects that are on the ground. The bushes and the chest are your best friends. You want to be able to manipulate enemies around these objects. They're there for you. Like, if you just go into a room and start cutting bushes, you're actually just giving yourself a handicap because you can use those to dodge pretty much most enemies in the game. And there's a lot of unique ways to dodge enemies. Such as some enemies will follow you, especially the worst enemies in the game. They'll follow you throughout the doors. Like, even if you're in another room, they'll follow you. You can kind of manipulate them and move them outside the room. So if you see me, like, running up walls pointlessly later on, that's probably what I'm going to be doing. You can also manipulate 2-tile enemies that way. You can drag them along a wall, and they tend to buffer against the wall, and it's really cool. I'll probably end up showing... Okay, that's really good. I'll probably end up showing you guys after a while. The early game for this is very slow. I'm not gonna lie, it's very slow. But once we get like 50 plus, it starts picking up very fast, and every decision I make is very crucial to the overall speedrun. And I just got a deadly rod, so that's good.
Yeah. So that's one of those instant death weapons we were talking about earlier. He's probably gonna hold off on equipping it just a little bit, but don't be surprised if he equips it in the next few floors. Because we have some interesting enemies coming up pretty soon. The first group are assassins. Oh, more cores. Let's see if we get any.
Nope.
Of course not. First group are assassins, and then the second group...
Did you say of cores not?
What?
When I didn't get that core, did you?
No,
just say
I did not, but that would have been funny.
You did, sir. You're trying to sabotage the run.
Of course not.
Zach, we've known you long enough that we don't need to sabotage anything you do.
Oh my god.
So at 37, he'll run into assassins, which I'm sure you will see. And then the second one at floor 44 will be ninjas, which are unfortunate. They are not as bad as blue mimics.
Hold on. I don't mean to interject real quick, but alright, so this enemy right here is an enemy that only moves when I get close to it. I know I'm kind of wasting time. You can manipulate this enemy by, it will never go below this chest, or even right here, because it's got objects in the way. So like, if it were an enemy that can move through all, beyond the door load, I'm safe to explore this side of the room the whole time. As long as I don't go left, that enemy will be stuck behind that chest, so it won't ever block this door. Those are things you have to keep in mind when you're navigating through the cave. See, like, I'm moving left now, that tree is loose. I know it's in the top left room. You have to keep this stuff in mind for coming back into a room. So, for instance, it's there now. I just wanted to show that off. I'm sorry, I don't mean to like...
No, you're fine.
Yeah, but those are little fun facts that will help you survive a lot longer than somebody else.
Yeah, those enemies, and there are a few others that will actually track you even after you leave the room. So once he got close enough for it to start trying to follow him, it'll continue to follow him no matter where he goes in the floor. So if he had to go back through that floor or that room for some reason, he would have had to fight it. And there are some very deadly enemies that will do that later. Okay.
I'm actually gonna kill these enemies, and every time I see them, I will kill them. These are enemies. I think now they're called Garbos. They're cancers, but each one of them has an 18 or 8% chance to drop a rock, a jewel known as the Cancer Rock, and it fits very well with certain weapons at the jelly and can make or break an entire run. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and kill these to get that item. And I got it.
It's a 20% chance to drop, and the Cancer Rock with the Sky Sword is crazy damage.
It's ridiculous.
So, and the good thing about the IP attack for the Cancer Rock, which is Scissor Slash, is it doesn't use all of your IP, so you can actually use it twice in a battle. And if you have an old sword, which is a weapon that has one of those percentage attacks, like the Fatal Blow, you can actually use its IP attack, do a ton of damage, and then use Scissor Slash. Ooh, Valor. Well, tell me about Valor.
Valor is the highest end tier healing spell in the game. It always heals for a set amount, depending on how many people. And it is also the highest reviving spell. There are 2 reviving spells in this game. I forgot what the English name for game
Rally
is. Rally? Oh yeah, that's the one.
This is actually
Rally
a really good way for me to get some
Ooh.
EXP that I need. The first early form of assassins are weak to holy, so I can just kill them with ease since I have zap. They all die in one hit and all cast. Y'all can continue. I'm sorry. I was just a little fun fact.
No, that's pretty much it. Valor is probably the best. Well, actually, I'm not too sure if Valor is the best thing to find in the Ancient Cave. I would personally prefer Rally, to be honest, for the MP management. But if you need to revive someone in combat, then Valor probably is your safest option, because it's essentially a full heal revive.
Yeah, in addition to healing, you can also use it as an attack spell. So later on, there are some enemies that are weak to healing, they're undead, and it can do heavy damage or one-shot them most of the time. So, something to keep in mind as he gets later into the cave.
And certain enemies, don't confuse all enemies, shadow enemies, the same kind of weakness. Oh, they're shadows, so they're weak to holy, or they're weak to healing, so you just use either one. Certain enemies are weaker to one or the other. There's an enemy later called a leech, or a lich, I guess, depending on what version you play. I think they're always called leeches, but they will die in one hit to zap. But if you hit them with Valor, it won't kill them. It'll only do 460 damage. And vice versa, there's another enemy called the Hades. They're both considered shadow and undead enemies. You can't instantly kill them. The Hades will actually take more damage from Valor and take less damage from Zap. I'm not really sure the inner workings of why that is, but you need to know those certain things, because that little bit of damage, especially one-shotting leeches, is a really important thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, leeches are a very terrifying enemy. Basically, once you get to floor 70, any enemy in the game can kill you. So having their weaknesses or knowing what you can do to them to easily take them out is a very helpful thing to know. Earlier, whenever Zack ran into the assassins for the first time, he said that they're weak to holy, unlike the later version. Now, the funny thing about this game is that there are so many programming errors. It's kind of crazy. So, if you look at the code for assassins, I'll talk about that in a second, Zach. Actually, real quick, since that assassin's trapped between that bush and that chest, he can walk basically anywhere in that room except for up there and be safe. but there are lots of programming errors and lots of translation errors in this game. The ninjas, the later version of assassins, are supposed to be weak to holy if you look at the code, but they put it in the wrong spot. So they put it in the description of the enemy rather than in the properties of the enemy. So it doesn't do anything in the code, but it says should be weak to holy, but since they put it in the wrong spot, it doesn't do anything. And later there are some enemies that are dragons towards the end, which have the same thing. So they should be flying type, but for some reason they're not, or at least one version of them are not. So yeah, we don't leech. We don't.
I need
really
to start
understand.
moving a little bit. I'm looking at my time and I'm kind of far behind.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm gonna start moving.
you're doing all right. So coming up real quick, we've got green cores on the next floor to 43, and then followed by ninjas, which can be a pain. So he was talking real quick about dark enemies, weak to holy, weak to healing. Those enemies, those little black shadow guys running around, those are actually, you can instantly kill them. So they're not weak to either. Oh, this is a fun one. But you can instant kill them. So I don't know why, but you can. There are quite a few different patches and hacks of this game, which you can find out there. A lot of them fix the translation errors, a lot of them fix the weaknesses and glitches within the game, but I don't know, personally, there's a little bit of charm to this game because of all the errors. Yeah. You can fix it if you want. There are ways to do it.
Yeah, the NTSC version of this game has had small glitches and bugs and errors in translations. As far as I know, the game was released in many other languages. As far as I know, the PAL cartridges fixed most of those bugs and translation errors. As far as I know.
I believe No, go ahead.
Yeah, as far as I know, there are... The NTSC has many problems that are... or not problems, but translation errors and text errors. Like, even in the casual game, there are some things that just do not make any sense, story-wise. Where a character will say, oh, I need to go to this city and pass through this area, and you passed that area long ago. Like, there are some instances like that, which also are not fixed in the PAL cartridges, because they're technically not typos. So, yeah, the game has a lot of oversights like that.
Yeah, a lot of the issues came from...
God, please help me.
I'm guessing this doesn't go well. A lot of the issues came from, translating Japanese to English. Because of the text difference, Japanese can be much more concise. The memory issues with, adding all the extra text. And you'll see that, hopefully, at the very end of this run, one of the major causes of that issue. For some reason, whenever they were translating the game, they were running low on memory, they just decided to delete some stuff. And one of them is a tile set, which causes some nasty glitches throughout the game. Hopefully we will see one of those at the very end of this run.
Hopefully.
But, yeah, we will. Don't worry. We will. We just won't kill any cores along the way, for some reason.
Yeah, if anybody wants to know, like, if somebody's having a really hard time understanding, like, what kind of position I'm in at the moment, I'm doing rather well. I have a lot of good stuff. It's very ideal for a regular run, what I have now. The only thing that I'm kind of suffering from, which is a really big concern, is my levels are a little low. And killing enemies right now, I don't want to do it because I'm trying to save some time. Even though I know I'm still collecting chests and being weird, but... I'm gonna skip that one. I should wait till 50. In fact, I'm not opening again till 50. Oh, except for that, I'll open that.
So you may notice whenever... Oh, what we get? Agony Helm. That's good. That's a good find. Agony Helm again with blue chest item, rare. It's got some good stat increases. It also protects against something, confusion, I want to say. I can't remember.
I don't remember from the top of my head either.
Yeah,
the thing is, this game has a lot of items that give you certain protection ailments. It protects you from certain ailments, but the game never mentions explicitly what it protects against. So any knowledge that we have about certain protections is either from experimenting or from examining the game code. So yeah, have fun with that, because the game will never tell you.
I just went ahead and equipped the Deadly Rod because I need to start killing things. Ninjas are coming up and they will kill me if I don't have any levels, so I need to kill a few things.
Yes, because that's also another thing we haven't really touched upon yet. But there are enemies in the game that have multiple attacks, and ninjas are infamous for having multiple attacks. They can either attack you 3 times normally, which is actually the least dangerous thing they can do. They have a party-wide attack, which hurts a lot. 2 of those can actually wipe your party. And they have an instant kill attack. And as we progress throughout the cave, we will find more and more enemies that have attacks or multiple attacks. Hopefully we will never run...
What a floor!
Oh man!
Oh boy.
This is really not good because I can't get in front of this thing. I can't get to the side of it either.
I will just let this next battle explain itself entirely. And
I have to fight it head on.
Yeah, so...
Hashtag ninjas, please.
Ninjas move twice for every step you take, so he won't be able to take a step to the side and swing his sword and try to get a side attack. It's always going to just turn towards him, so he's gonna have to take it head on, and hopefully it's just one and it's easy and no problems whatsoever. But
yeah, okay, that's gonna happen.
Oh boy.
As Volt said, they have a multi-target attack called Knife Thrower, and it actually cuts through defense. So it doesn't matter what your defense is. If they use that, it's just gonna do massive amounts of damage. So
yeah,
he's got the Deadly Rod. He's in level 20, which is pretty decent.
3 of them.
But he's going to be using his IP attacks just to try to take them out, because they are that dangerous. And he moved Guy and Decker to the back row there, trying to conserve the damage.
God.
On them. All right, let's see what happens here. First one attacks. Baby. That's perfect. We want that. Guillotine. Okay, there's the instant death attack, and the third one attacks.
This is actually not a bad outcome. It really isn't.
Well, it saves me from Knife Thrower.
Thanks, Artie. So good. So
2 Knife Throwers could have ended this run. So this is... It sucks for Maxim, but this is really not the worst outcome.
Yeah. I mean, he spent his IP on that, but it was well worth it. He'll get it back for sure. As you saw, their Sky Splitter's IP attack super strong. Attacks everybody and then uses thunder. So definitely a great...
Yeah, I'd also like to point out that the Deadly missed.
Of course it did.
The 80% chance missed. Oh, and in case somebody's wondering, like, 80%, it only doesn't happen at crucial times, it's very rare. No, my record's, like, I don't know, 8 times in a row I've missed, or something.
Zach,
Sir?
I have to give shoutouts to Cruel, because I don't know if you've seen his run early this week. He had an excellent Lufia 2 playthrough, but I don't want to hear anything about you from missing percentage chances, because he missed, I think, 12...
I missed another 80% just now. Continue.
How many did he miss? Of the, what is that item called again? The item that has an instant kill of 50%.
The bad Deadly Sword?
No, not the sword, the item, the ball, the terror
ball.
He missed 12 terror balls in a row during the gargoyle fight.
Man, that's really bad. You could even say that's
Don't do
terrible.
it.
Don't. God.
You just set him up. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming too.
Oh God, Zach. For the sake of the marathon, I hope your run goes through, but let it be known that you do not.
So, God, I'm just all out of whack now. That's a horrible room. Hopefully the stairs are not in there.
Yeah,
But
hopefully I don't have to go in there, because that would be a problem, you know?
that was awful. So, you may notice whenever Zach is going down the stairs, he enters the stairs from the bottom. There is a reason he's doing that. And the reason is that whenever you enter a new floor, all the enemies are facing down, meaning, towards the bottom of the screen. So when you enter stairs, you do have a chance of being spawned either on top of enemies or with them right next to you. So if you are facing up, you can't get back attack. There is no way you can get back attack. If you enter from the side, it's a 50% chance you can get back attacked if they're there. And if you enter from the top and you're facing down, you automatically get back attack. So it's just a very safe thing to do. It doesn't take any time at all. It's just something we do just for safety. And he's getting Darby to his third form, which is great, because he will now be able to use his first instant, well, actually the only instant you'll see this run.
That is
devastation. What?
I'm just missing Deadly. It's just bothering me.
You're just getting it out of the way now, and then later it'll all be fine.
Look at that Darby.
Okay, how did he find 21 terribles? Or he bought them, never mind.
No, he bought them.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
You can get them in the main game.
He actually bought 31 to be on the safe side.
Oh god. Oh god. You guys are not gonna like this.
I can't wait.
It should be fun.
I have to go in that room.
Of course you do.
Alright, let's just see. I do have 2 sides of it, though. I actually have 3. I have a little base. I might be fine. Wait, I might not be fine. This could be really drastically bad. I think I might have made a mistake.
Oh.
A really bad mistake.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Really depends on the outcome of this fight. Oh, man.
I didn't see how far away those other ones were.
They're right underneath.
I'm surprised you didn't move Guy and Deckard in the back.
No, it's fine. I should be okay. Should be okay.
Should be.
Alright, that's good. Good news.
Hey, look at it. So, ninjas are terrible. Doesn't matter what level you're in, they are just trouble. Not only can they, wipe your party because they're so strong, they just are a tremendous waste of time.
Oh god, I may have made a really grave mistake.
Please don't tell me you walked.
Don't tell me.
You walked forward!
Oh, Zach, why these
Oh god,
things?
oh god, oh god. I might come out of this alive, I might just come out of this alive. Yeah, I think I'm gonna live. Barely, but I'm gonna be alive. Oh, that's how fast this can go south.
See? Alright, as we said, ninja's terrible. But, because Decker's defense is crazy, we're still alive. Oh boy. And guess what?
This is proof that even the most experienced runners of this game.
Please, game,
can make
please. That would be
mistakes.
hysterical.
Oh, okay. Bolt, you want to tell them about the deadly sword?
Yeah, there are 2 deadly swords in this game, and they're both 2 different types. I couldn't see which one this was.
That was the bad one.
That was the bad one. Okay, so the bad one has a 50% chance to kill enemies, whereas the good one has... Oh wait, 50? I thought it was 30. Anyway, it's a lower percentage than the weapon that you actually want. And finding the bad one is just heartbreaking. It's basically capsule monster food.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't want it because it doesn't deal the amount of kills that you want it to do. It's better to just have a normal weapon equipped these days.
What is going on right now?
Yeah, and not only is it the instant kill percentage lower, the IP attack is useless. It's bomb attack, which just attacks all the enemies. The deadly rod and the good deadly sword have percentage attacks, 1/8 of the enemy's HP. So that's another reason we like the deadly swords. This room is pretty troll.
This is not a good setup. No. Fortunately, these enemies are not the most dangerous ones you can encounter at this point. Basically, what's happening is that you're just wasting time because you have so many enemies to deal with.
Push.
Which is where the deadlies come in place, but you know, they still have to hit it.
I've missed way too many deadlies.
Yeah.
The T-Rex is a nice example of enemies that are already getting too much you'd actually want to cut through.
I am missing way too many deadlies. I've probably missed more than half of them so far.
80%. Just remember, it's 80%.
Yep.
Suppose. We just have to hope that you get Darby up to his next form as soon as possible.
Well, I mean, he can be useful in this one. He just doesn't instant death.
He hasn't
attack.
done anything.
Yeah, he's got Mega Trident, great attack, devastation, great attack. Just does him.
God, what is happening today? Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Side
Look at all
note.
the little things. They're everywhere.
If
Fortunately,
anybody has not played this game casually, please do. It is a fantastic RPG. The Ancient Cave is just an added plus. This room is awful.
That's 3 huge party rooms I've had in a row.
Fortunately, though, Zack is getting kind of a breather on these floors because the enemies are awful, but they're not run-ending awful types yet. They're just time-consuming types right now. Like, let's see, we're at floor 50 right now, so I don't think you'll be dealing with a lot of dangerous enemies anytime soon for the next floor, for the next few floors. The sirens are coming up though at floor 52. And sirens are fun enemies to fight, said nobody ever.
Once had a 15-minute fight against sirens and ran away. Sirens are enemies that use basically every status ailment in the game. Sleep,
And they have a
confusion,
very high chance to hit you with it.
and it uses it on everybody. So there were 4 of them, and they put me all to sleep, and then they kept trying to put me to sleep over and over. And it took about 12 minutes, I think, was the final time. Let's see.
Despite what people may think though, Zack actually still is in very good shape. The only downside he still has after 20 floors is that his levels are a bit on the low side.
Did you even see Green Core?
Yes, he saw one and it ran away.
Okay.
So we have to put our hopes in the no cores.
So
Yeah,
he
pretty
still has
much.
one
I'm
more
still
chance
low on
to fight
levels, but I mean,
cores.
there's a lot of enemies I can kill to bring it
Yeah.
back.
The good thing about having the deadly weapon and having destroy only kill most enemies. He still has one more chance for cores coming up here in a few floors. Hopefully that's a good deadly sword. Let's see,
That's
it
a good
is.
one.
Yay! So he does have that option. So he has 2 chances for quote unquote 80% instant death now.
More than likely, I won't equip that though. Only if I
Right.
get a curse lifter will I really equip it or something.
He's gonna try to keep his options open
Yeah.
for weapons as much as possible.
Worst case scenario though, he will have to equip it at some point, but he can, even if he doesn't find a curse lifter, he'll still have the cancer rock to equip on that character, if that moment arrives. Like he fortunately has a lot of options right now in terms of equipment. There is one item that we have not discussed yet, and it is a blue chest item, and I think everyone who plays this game will know it as well. The Gades Blade, which essentially, if Zack finds that one, if this was a normal run, he could beeline it straight for the final floor. The Gades Blade is another weapon. This,
I do
I'm
whatever
taking a
I
moment
want.
here.
I'm so excited that we're fighting Hydras.
Oh.
So these
And he
guys
gets
can-
it too. Nice. And a destruction from
Wow,
Darby.
that's beautiful. What a
Sweet.
fight.
Is it gonna hit? Is it gonna hit? No,
Of course, the 90% does not hit, but the 80%.
One job.
It's alright. Hedora Rock? The frames, did we get... Okay.
No.
So those enemies can drop a rock called a Hedora Rock, which lets you attack 3 times in one round from one person. So again, it's a lot of damage, so definitely worth trying to get. He does have the Cancer Rock, which is better than the Hedora Rock, but it's a good backup nonetheless.
I won't say it's worth trying to get it though. If you can get a surprise attack, then go for it. If not, then don't fight them head on. Hedoras are very scary enemy types that can hit you for multiple times, and these guys in particular can just hit your enemies all in one turn. Or they can hit your party in one turn. This is the part where enemies start to show off how dangerous this cave can be. And floor 55. Let's see here, which enemies are noteworthy? The Surfacos, which are the note birds. Surfacos are birds that people can underestimate a lot because they don't always put out a lot of damage, and then they suddenly just wipe your party. They are so dangerous. Well, basically everything is at this point.
So
a question in chat.
Yeah, I'm going to answer. Go ahead.
This one by Luigi636. This run is Ancient Cave any percent. How is that different from just getting to the credits?
Right.
Well, the Ancient Cave has different subcategories. Any percent just means you can pick whatever party you want, any capsule monster you want, and basically it's just going to the end as fast as possible. But other subcategories would be playing a reject party with different party members. Going for 100%, which only crazy people attempt. And yes, I'm calling everyone who does that crazy because that is a crazy category.
At least it's not Iris percent.
There's Iris percent, which is a whole new level of
Alright, things just got a little better again.
Okay.
Oh, let's see.
Let's see what we got.
A Curse Lifter.
Nice.
That is a nice find.
Good.
It makes the, honestly, the better weapon to equip it with in this one, I mean, to use it on would be the Deadly Rod.
Right.
Yes.
I would like 2 of them, but it does give me an option because technically Artie still deals pretty decent damage even without it. I mean, so I could, give Maxon the Deadly in a crucial moment and take it off, which is the ideal. I mean, Artie is perfectly fine without being able to use his IP, but, I kind of have to pick and choose my battles here, but that definitely opens up a lot of good options for me.
It's just my opinion, but I don't think Artie even... Because you have a Thunder Ring, and do you have the Thunder spell yet?
I do not.
Oh.
If you find that, that's another big change in the plan.
Wait, I don't think I have Thunder. No, I don't have it.
Basically, if Zack finds Thunder, he wouldn't even need to just weapon it. Thunder with Thunder Ring will deal, I think I said it earlier, 400 to 500, if not more damage per turn on Artie, which is slightly below what a Deadly Rod would do for the first 2 turns.
So, real quick, we'll talk. Volt kind of talked about the different categories for the Ancient Cave, but I see some questions, so I'll just go over them real quick. Like you said, any percent is any party you want, any capsule monster you want. Just do it as fast as you can. The record is 45 minutes and some odd, 58 seconds, I think, by Almegas. Unmanipulated world record. The other categories are reject percent, which basically use the characters you don't use in this run. So you use Salon, Tia, Lexus, and any capsule monster except for Sully. So you use Darby, most likely. The world record for that is I don't even know. That's sad. 149, and it's by me. I have that one. Iris percent is 21 hours even, and that is collect all 9 Iris items plus kill the jelly, and return all the items back to the cafe where they put them on display. And then the other one is 100%, which is kill all enemies, open all chests, and I believe Zach has that one with, what is it, 4 hours, 30 minutes, something like that?
I have both the 100% records. I think the reject run is like at 5.5 hours or 5 hours and 45 minutes, and the regular 100% is at 429 or something.
Yeah, I knew it was right around 4:30. I forgot there is a reject hunt, because why not? I think you're the only one who's ever done that?
Well, technically, that 100% run is my fastest reject run. So I'm like third place on that one.
There you go. Yeah, Yogi the Monk did a completely 100% manipulated run of this any percent. It's very fast. It's very cool to watch. And it is the world record. But he's the only one who's ever done a manipulation, because everybody else just kind of plays it randomly, the way that Zach is playing it right now. I do suggest watching that run. It's very cool. It's very interesting to watch. But like I said, he's the only one who's ever done manipulated run. So it's like 19 minutes and 20 seconds, and then the next run is 45 minutes. So obviously you can see the difference in time there. But he spent a very... What?
No, go on, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, Yogi spent a very long time, and I talked to him about it a while back. Well, actually, it's been a very long time, but about how he did it, and he did it on a cartridge, which is very cool. So he did frame-perfect movements up until like floor 96, and then he lost the manipulation, but he was still able to finish. So it's a very cool run. Check it out. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, if you plan on running this game, watch it, and then think, oh, this is so easy, I can do this as well, and then try it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, you will not like the results. But the reason the other category is called a reject percent, by the way, is because the characters involved, excuse me, the characters involved are not your main damage dealers in any sort of run. You have to deal with Salon, Tia, and Lexus, who are all mages. They have low health, except for Salon, who picks up later levels. They die very fast, and that is very sad. That is a lady armor Zack just picked up. And they just do not have the damage output or the tanking ability that Guy and Deckard have. So that is why it's called a reject category, because most people just do not use those characters sort of run. People will frolic about with taking one of them, but never all of them. And that's why reject percent is a completely different category compared to this one.
That's not a big deal though. I'm fine. Yeah, actually, I don't mind it because it gets me some IP back.
So, I mean, the estimate for this run is 2 hours, but it is usually, the normal speed run is done much faster. Zach's time is under an hour, which is crazy time. Anything under like an hour and 10 minutes is incredible for this game. So breaking that hour mark is pretty crazy. So the reason the estimate is so long is just safe, just so he can show you guys what the cave's about, show you the best run he possibly can, and you know, complete the run. So right now he's doing very well. He's got some good equipment. For anyone who doesn't know, he does have a Decker Blade. He has a Deadly Rod. He has a Curse Lifter. He's got some decent magic. He's got Zap, and he's got Valor and Strong. He's found a, what was it, Sky Sword? And he's got a Cancer Rock.
Sword.
So he's doing very well with his equipment right now. There are still some things he's going to try to find. He's going to probably try to kill a few more enemies here a little bit later and get some more experience, get his levels up. I'd say the average level for a normal any percent run when you get to the end is about 26 to 30, somewhere in that range, just depending on what you had to fight. Those eyeballs are terrifying.
Yes, they are.
How did Elmagus do it in 45 minutes? God luck. That's the only thing I can say. It's an unbelievably lucky run. Yeah, Once you get past that like hour and 10-minute mark, all of the time saves are from luck. Finding the right things quickly, finding the stairs quickly, those all save time. For instance, in my PB, I went the last like 30 floors in about 8 minutes.
A lot of it really kind of comes down to your stair luck rather than...
Yeah.
I mean, getting a Gades Blade and Decker Blade early are very crucial to make the run runnable. Like, the earlier you get it, the better, because you know, less chests to look for. But in many instances, it comes down to chest luck. Like, my PB, I got stuck behind a lot of stuff, and my stairs were terrible. So, I probably could have saved about 10 minutes there, but... Of course, you know, the RNG with the stairs is, you know, RNG, and there's not a whole lot you can really do about it.
Yeah. It's very interesting, you know, how much the little things can save so much time. Like he was saying, you know, finding the stairs quickly and easily is the biggest time save you can find. Not running into monster rooms, not fight terrible enemies, just all things that save so much time. So if you are able...
Shoutouts to the staff. Shoutouts to the staff and the SNES Superstar Marathon. Thank you.
Is that the first staff?
I think so.
I haven't heard you make that joke yet.
Yeah, I don't think I found one before, but shoutouts to the staff. I remember when I did that at RPG Limit Break, and they looked at me like... I lean over and I'll look at them, and of course I look goofy, and then I stare at them. They're just staring at me back, and I don't know. It was funny.
Yeah. But right now, jeez, I'm trying to think of people who are.
It makes me seem awkward. I'm a lot funnier than that.
You're just trying to.
So you say.
I'm trying to think of anybody who is really buckling down and running the Ancient Cave right now. We had a tournament a couple of months ago with 25 runners. A lot of people who had never run the game before. Just for fun, we had a tournament, and it was fantastic. It turned out really well. But I think people are kind of taking a break from this right now.
Wheeler still plays this game, and he's been playing that for
17 years.
17 years.
17 years.
I would recommend anyone to check out his Twitch channel. I really don't know how to spell that name of his. Maybe you know, Shadow.
Yeah, there are 3 E's. It's Squealer with 3 E's. But yeah,
he still plays this game actively, and it is pretty much all he plays. And if you want to learn from someone who is I dare say he's the most experienced runner of this game compared to anyone else.
Note, not speedrunner. He is not an experienced speedrunner, but he does challenge runs, but that's something completely different.
Although his knowledge of the game is better than anyone else's.
So right now Zach is fighting Mega Cyclops, which they give great experience. But unfortunately, they are super strong, and they can one-shot characters if you don't kill them quickly. They've got a ton of life. They're not really weak to anything, so instant death is the way to go. So good move to fight these, get a couple of levels. You've also probably saw a little teleporter guy flying around out there. That's a leech. They're terrible. He's going to avoid that at all costs.
Oh
my 50%. Went for the 50%.
Ooh,
see, there you go. Like I said.
Yep. Mega Cyclopses do not take prisoners. And Artie is getting the hits in now. Everything before was just practice. He was just practicing his swing. And now he found it.
I wish you could borrow instant deaths working.
So those leeches are enemies like Zack said, teleport, but once you get close enough, they stop teleporting. And they'll just kind of walk around. And they move once for every 3 steps you take. So if you know that, they're not as scary. But they still, you know, if you get cornered, then you got some trouble. So he was just being careful there, and he's fighting them. Interesting move.
I have Zap.
Oh, okay, I forgot.
And there is a 1% chance you can get an old sword.
Come on, please.
I think Cruel actually got that during his run in the actual game. He got an old sword.
Yeah.
I didn't get
Yes.
the old sword, but I did get a Gloom Jewel.
There you go. Nice.
That's pretty nice. That actually has instant death capabilities. I just kind of bumped my survivability up a little bit.
One of the scariest compositions that you can run into in this game is when different types of teleporters. You have the teleporters who teleport when you're close by, and you have the ones that teleport when you're far away. If you encounter both of them, especially in the later levels, it becomes just puzzling trying to avoid both of them. Because there's no escaping, there will always be one of the teleports near you. And that is something that you always have to pay attention to, no matter if you're new to the game or experienced to the game.
Oh no, we're not being dumb. They are called leeches. That's one of the wonderful translation errors in this game.
Yep.
Now he's fighting boats.
Just like Gorams and Assassins and whatever else is in this game. I still think the Gorams have the best name.
So these enemies, these ghost ships, are actually really interesting. They don't move at all. They don't attack. All they can do is summon other enemies. So if you get a battle like that with two ships, it's basically over if you have Valor. Because you can one-shot both of them, you're done, move on. Boats and caves, friends. So this is an interesting enemy. These are Gorgons. And they
Gorgons.
Gorgons, excuse me. They drop an item called the Gorgon Rock, which has an attack called Axe Attack, which is another one of those percentage attacks. If he doesn't get it, I think he'll probably be alright. He's in good shape, but it would be good to have as backup nonetheless. Let's see if we get it. We didn't. It's actually a pretty good chance to drop. So he'll probably be fighting those more often. It's they're like you saw, weak to instant death. They're strong, but not too strong, and they give decent experience. So all around, just kind of a good fight. Let's see.
We are.
Alright.
People who have watched the regular game played earlier this week will now start seeing enemies that do not happen in the story mode game.
Ooh, I like that.
Archfiends, you like that?
No. No, I don't. Those big green things are very evil.
That's nice.
Yeah, you want to take that one, Shadow?
What's that?
You want to take that one?
Sure.
That sword?
I'll tell them about the Lizard Blow. Lizard Blow is one of the strongest weapons in the game.
This is not good.
Alright, he's fighting genies. Genies are pretty evil.
Actually, it kind of got remedied on itself, but I'm going to run away from that anyway.
So, Lizard Blow, in addition to just having really high attack power, is a dragon-type weapon, meaning, he can attack silver and gold dragons with it and do massive damage against them. So, if he has to run into those... If he runs into those, he's got a chance to kill them. It has a attack called Dragon Rush, which does 3 times normal damage. So again, for the jelly, it's gonna be good. Gonna be good, especially,
Yo, to answer a chat question real quick, no, I have not killed a single core this run.
Nope, he has not.
Oh god.
Not one.
Overrated.
You've barely encountered any.
Yeah. You didn't see any no-cores, did you?
I saw one,
Oh, you
and it
did?
ran away.
Of course it did.
Okay, this is an example of what we were talking about earlier. The Cyclops sprites will chase you, but up to a certain distance. If you get too far out of reach, they will stop chasing you.
I forgot about this. Hold on. This is a little bit of a problem. I think I waited too long.
What? Oh, right.
Yes.
So he's going to try to get Darby to his 4th form, because Darby has a chance in his 4th form to learn an attack called Hero. And the way he learns it is, I don't know. It's random. It just happens at the end of a battle. So it could happen on the first fight. It could happen on the 50th fight. We don't know. People have looked into the code and still can't figure it out. So it has nothing to do with experience. It has nothing to do with the number of battles. It's just random. So he's going to try to get him to his 4th form. So when he does fight, he will have the chance to learn Evil Aura. Evil Aura is Darby's strongest attack. It's super strong against the silver and gold dragons if he has to fight them.
Oh, you got this.
And also does just a ton of damage. Magic Fruit. Oh.
You have bruise armor.
Anything. There you go. So he'll get him to his 4th form. Hopefully we learn Evil Aura quickly. If we don't, he'll still do a lot of damage. Don't get me wrong. If he doesn't learn Evil Aura, it's just the difference between what he could do damage-wise and what he will do with Evil Aura is pretty significant. So it's just a great thing to have if it happens.
And pretty much if getting Darby to actually stay in a fight at this point is pretty hard too, but if I do get Evil Aura, I'll probably devolve him back to his 3rd form, because I think 4th form Darby loses all of his instant death.
Right. Yeah. 3rd form and 5th form have instant death for Darby, and Sully's 2nd form has instant death as well, but as far as fighting the jelly, you don't want to use Darby's 5th form. He's pretty...
he loses his capability to use special attacks really frequently.
Yeah, he attacks a lot, and then he's also...
I got it!
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude, I'm serious. I never lie.
What was that, 3rd fight?
2nd fight. Well, technically 1st fight, because he ran away the 1st one.
See, that's all it takes. Easy, right? Easy every time.
Keep in mind though, like I'll be like, oh man, it's easy. It's probably got a high percentage. I have fought like 100 battles and didn't get that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes, Darby does run away a lot.
About Darby, yeah. Basically, every character in this game has a guts stat, which I believe for regular characters it means it reduces the chance of them being afflicted by status ailments like confusion, sleep, etc., etc. For capsule monsters, they cannot be afflicted by that, so it has a different mechanic. In their case, their gut stat is directly responsible for how much damage they will take before they run away. Sully, for example, he has such a high gut stat, he will never run away unless he has like 1% health left. He is a trooper, he will stay until the end. Darby, on the other hand, if you sneeze on him, he will run away. The same goes for Gusto and to a degree Blaze in his early levels.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just... It can be very frustrating if you don't understand the guts mechanic early on.
Yeah, I think
the game also never really explains that statistic.
I think Guts also has something to do with the amount of IP for the main characters.
Yeah, I've heard that, but I've never actually heard anyone see that in the coding, so I'm not sure if that's correct.
There it is. Yeah, Dragon Dark said that, and I knew if he were here, he was going to comment on that. So the way IP happens is you get it from damage, but if you're at full health, you actually get less IP than you would if you had less health. It has something to do, Dragon Dark can correct me if I'm wrong, with the difference between your max HP and your current HP and your gut stat. I don't know the exact formula, but that's the way it works. So if you have like half health and you get taken down to like 10 or 12 health, you'll get a ton of IP, as opposed to if you have full health and you get taken down to half.
So it's basically influenced by your current percentage HP.
Yeah.
Might be in a little pickle here.
Pickles.
Ooh, that's not fun.
So we haven't talked about that enemy over because we don't like to talk about them.
No.
But those are Archfiends. They are one of, if not, the most terrifying enemies. For a couple of reasons. First off, you can't back attack them, so you never get that that first strike. Second off, once they see you, they will chase you forever. no matter what room you go in, they will always be following you around.
I'm just, if anyone knows what I'm doing, I'm just double checking. Even if somebody already knows, well, the stairs aren't there. I have to double check in a situation like this.
Yeah. We want to avoid Archfiends no matter what.
Well, let's be honest. We're at that point of the game where you actually want to avoid most things that you... Because
anything at this point can probably kill you.
Yes. Everything at this point, with the exception of the Gorgons...
This is really bad, actually.
Everything can wipe Zack, no matter what his defenses are, no matter what his health is. He can get wiped at any given time.
Issue. Almost.
So, the Archfiends have, 4 different attacks? They can physically attack, they can heal themselves, they can use Thunder, and they can use Destroy.
And Gloomy.
Oh, and Gloomy. 5 attacks, there you go.
Did you guys talk about why I go up through the stairs? That's probably a really cool thing to talk about.
Yes, that was discussed in regards to the back
I just wanted to make sure. Because at this point, it's super crucial why I'm doing that. Alright.
So, getting into a fight with 2 Archfiends means you're going to be attacked because their agility is higher than you. Artie can be faster if you're pretty high leveled, but normally they get 4 attacks, and if they use Thunder 4 times, you're pretty much screwed. I bet there's probably a chance that Decker could survive at a decent level, but more often than not, you're basically screwed.
Yeah, unless you found some very specific thunder resistance gear, you probably will not survive a quadruple attack.
Yeah, it can use Thunder quad times, 4 times. For anyone knowing just how bad that is, I do 100% runs all the time, and I've gotten hit with quad Thunder, and it's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the really scary part about enemies at this point. Oh,
I think I'll be okay. It's fine. It's fine. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, no. It'll be fine. It was just a little... I made a mistake, but it might actually come out in my favor. I got ground shock during the fight, which is fine. Okay.
Oh, gotta farm that IP.
Yeah, that was definitely a move. I should have went through the stairs, but I was nervous about the Hades. That's the enemy down at the bottom. The reason I was scared of it is because they can contain Archfiends.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm afraid of this enemy right here, is it can have those Archfiends in the fight, and I don't want that.
So there are 4 different kinds of genies. There's a fire, there's a wind, there's an ice, and an earth genie. Each have different weaknesses, each have different agility. So knowing what you're fighting and how to attack it is a good skill to have, but usually they come in combination with so you gotta know which to go for.
And they are...
Austin got me. Sorry.
They are both...
all becoming Pierre.
Oh, this is stupid pasta, oh my god.
That's a good one.
But yeah, the genies are annoying for 2 different reasons. The first one is they can either steal your magic point, which is downright awful if they drain all of your magic every time you fight them, or they can just area of effect your entire team. And 2 specials of them will also wipe you. Like 2 ground shock, maybe Decker, if he's very lucky, he will survive. But genies are genies and Hades. They're just...
Oh, I must have missed a room or something. That's not good. I gotta run into this thing.
Oh boy.
Sorry. Maybe I'll get
I was done.
Sorry, I kind of just... I talk while I'm used to talking while I stream. Usually I'm a lot more active and about 75% more insane, but trying to concentrate.
If you want to get into some of the most nonsense with a streamer, please follow ThatsFairZack.
When he streams.
Yeah.
When well, I've had some life changes recently. It's not my fault. It is, but it's not.
Blame the fiance.
Fancy.
Fancy.
So we've kind of gotten to the part in the run where it be as careful as possible, kill things if you have to, and collect things that are on the way. He's not really going to be too much anymore. I don't think he could change it up on me.
I wouldn't mind having one more item, but I think I might be okay with my setup.
He's got really, really solid equipment. So if he can make it to the bottom, then we'll be in pretty good shape.
I think in terms of damage, you possibly have an uncursed Deadly Rod. You have the Cancer Rock, the Decker Blade, Thunder Ring. You have Zap. I think ideally you would find something like an Old Sword or a Mid Blade to deal just that bit more
Honestly,
of percentage health.
I mean, if I got like a Myth Blade, honestly, I'd probably just use it with the Cancer Rock. I don't with the Decker Blade and the Deadly Rod. That's enough. I don't really need any more percentage.
It should be enough.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the Lizard Blow, and you could even combine the Lizard Blow and do some pretty massive damage if you didn't want to use.
Yeah. Usually I feed off that Deadly Armor. It provides a really good energy for your capsule monsters if you feed it to them. But I'm gonna hold on to it because uncursed, it adds damage. Really interesting. I'm pretty sure it does. I think it adds attack. And everyone can equip it.
The thing is, we've been talking about the monsters being scary at this point. The scariest monsters are still to come. And the enemies that'll come are terrifying for all different reasons. Soon, I think we're at floor 80-ish now?
Yeah, they start showing up at 81.
Yes.
Oh wow, what a really good late find.
Gotta have to wait for it.
Yeah,
Wait for it, and there we go.
Oh, good. Champion.
That's the strongest healing spell that doesn't revive party monsters.
Oh man. I'm sorry, this is something we probably should have mentioned earlier. It's been a while. This is actually really, really important to note. If you notice, me and Volt over there just had a conversation with each other without speaking about what we were talking about. And the reason why we use like these code words and stuff like that is because if you say something, chances are it'll happen. And the reason for that is the ancient cave is sentient. It's aware. And it's actually kind of frightening because the cave isn't just aware, it's aware that you're aware of its awareness of you being aware. Mm-hmm. So it tends to use that on you to really do some nasty RNG stuff, and it can get really bad sometimes. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to throw that in, just to let you know, so when you speedrun this or anything, or run it, don't talk about it.
And I wish I could say he was joking, but he's not.
He really isn't.
It's creepy how true that statement is.
Remember those times when you needed to print something out for school? Like, I really... And your printer is like, nah, not today. The cave is that printer.
Really,
The
Gordon?
cave will deny you all your happiness. The cave will give you the terrifying rooms at 498 just to mess with you. And we have seen it happen.
Oh yeah. Just as a quick bit of info, if anybody is interested, I can't talk, in running this game, or even just like learning a little bit about it, we've got a really nice community. A lot of people who have just picked it up for fun and stuck with it, or just played it once. Gorgon Rock, nice. We do have a Discord channel if anybody's interested, and you want to learn a little bit more about this game. Or if you just want to pop into anybody's stream, we'd be more than happy to help you out in any way we can. It's just a lot of fun. If you want to like a nice kind of, I don't want to say casual, but it's easy to learn but hard to master. That's kind of the way this speedrun goes. But it's pretty easy to jump in and start learning. So if you are interested, please let any of us know. We do Ancient Cave bingos every once in a while, where you get a bingo card, and if you find the item in the cave, then you check it off. We do tournaments, we do races, so it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun with it. So if you are interested, let any of us know. We'd be happy to help you out.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That does not sound good.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh?
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Yeah. These are the monsters that we were about.
Oh
At these floors, floor 81, the copper and silver dragons start spawning. Copper dragons are...
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I'm just gonna let this one...
So these guys attack twice. They have an attack called Diamond Dust, which is pretty terrible.
That's an understatement.
This is one of those pray and hope sort of situations.
I used like every extra item I had on this stupid fight.
There we go. One. Okay. Well,
That's safety there. But yeah, the copper, silver, and later on the gold. And copper dragons attack once a turn. Silver dragons attack twice a turn. Golden dragons attack 3 times a turn. And if they were just attacking, it would be a bad thing. But they each have a special attack to them. And each of those special attacks can, well, it most probably will wipe out your party with just one use. The copper dragon has...
Cinder Blast.
Yes. I think Decker and Guy may actually survive that if they're in the back row.
I would say all of his party would survive Cinder Blast at this.
I'm not sure if Artie would survive with his low. Maybe if he's in the back row.
Artie will survive
But-
Cinder Blast.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's assuming it's only used one.
Okay.
Silver dragons will use diamond dust, which I'm not sure if it will wipe or not, but it's a terrifying attack because they will, like I said, they can attack twice. So if you have 2 silver dragons, they can attack 4 times using that. The golden dragons you just don't want to fight. Not ever. Not unless you're me. Ask Zach. He
Unless
knows what
you're
I'm
doing a
talking about.
100% run and you have to.
That's why nobody does 100% runs.
I wanted to keep going with that whole the cave's aware that you're aware that it's aware that you're aware. Reverse psychology also doesn't work. The game and the cave in general are very aware of what reverse psychology is, and it knows if you're trying to do it. One instance, I think it was like 2 years ago, I actually said it with legitimate, like I was being legit, I was being humble. I said, I love this speed run, and it deleted my childhood data. Only that file. It didn't delete any of the other 3 files. It deleted that specific file, so don't tell it you love it. It doesn't like that either. Y'all can continue now. That was it.
Well, on that note, this game has some issues outside of the programming. The cartridge itself has some issues. The batteries that came with the game originally are very, faulty. And if you look at the cartridge the wrong way, or take it out of your Super Nintendo kind of hard, it'll just delete your files altogether. So if you do have a cartridge of this game and you don't want your files to be deleted, be very gentle with the cartridge. I don't know why it does that, but it
The
does.
batteries they're just not good.
Yeah, it's
For
just...
comparison's sake, I still have a legit Secret of Mana cartridge with still the original save files that I had, like whenever that game came out, which is like 20 years ago at this point. I'm old. And Lufia's battery packs started malfunctioning for me after 4 years. Like, I still have that cartridge, but I can play it, I can save it. The moment I shut down the game, it'll wipe off all my saves. So, yeah, that's sadly a thing.
Oh, yes.
I have some game cartridges that are like that, like Link to the Past or Super Mario All-Stars. Actually crazy. Super Mario All-Stars, you can actually lift the left side of the cartridge and it starts playing crazy music, but whenever I got mad playing this game, I just flick it with my finger and they just break and delete all your data. I mean, that's how sensitive they are.
Also, Zach, I don't mean to rush you, but I do have to point out that you're at floor 82 with 11 minutes left to spare.
Oh, goodness. Okay. I had no idea. I was actually...
I don't want to be that guy, but I do have to point that out.
You know, Ari's missed 3 deadlies in a row. Okay, let's just get out of here. I ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's probably got everything he needs to kill the jelly, so we're just going to try to get there.
I need to get
as
some
quickly
IP,
as
so
possible.
I need to at least build that up.
Yeah.
I just got absorbed too.
Well, better late than never, I guess.
Damn. I really wish I'd stop fighting these genies. I mean, I have to kill this one. There's nothing I can do about it. It's standing in the... Oh man, this is really getting old. I think Artie has missed 4 out of 5 deadlies on these genies so far. I might need to run away here. I can't do that.
Play on the safe side.
Yeah, hopefully I get ground shocked on the way out, though. At least once. And I did.
Also, yes, a shout out to Mishi, who is one of the speedrunners of this game. Happy birthday today.
Alright, finally things start going my way.
It's about bloody time, 1 hour 50.
Yeah, we'll be alright, I think. Why did I do that again? I don't know why I did that. Hey look,
Jeff,
it's
that
the
is a lie, good sir.
Gorgan rock!
I do not want this run to end, but I do know we're on a time limit.
I think we'll be okay. I think if we go even 5 minutes over, I think we'll be okay. I don't know. Do I have permission to go 5 minutes over just in case? I'm actually trying to get out of here. I just want to be sure.
This is one of the
this
examples
is really rare right here, to be completely honest.
This is one of the examples that Shadow and I mentioned at the beginning. Like, you can be so good at this game, you can understand the mechanics, you can know everything there is to know about this game. The RNG just takes this out of your hands completely. Like, it'll give you passageways that you have to fight enemies through. It'll give you treasure rooms that you have to fight your way out.
What they're
And
really
that
trying
will
to say is
cost
I
you
can
so much
still
time.
die.
There's always
but
that.
I'm also saying you could reach the jelly within 3 minutes.
It's true.
Like, the game can give you rooms like this, where you just spawn right next to the stairway. Zach, you're being scary.
I mean, you could...
No, he could not. He should not.
You could just go without Artie having IP. There's always that.
No!
Okay,
It's Artie! I gotta get IP.
What was I
what?
thinking?
Because he's Artie and he likes to party.
Yes.
Alright, I'm trying.
You deserve all the bad stuff. You deserve everything bad that's gonna happen to you. in this
No,
game.
nothing bad. If I get a Dragon Con, that would be bad. Because that would really... Time-wise, that would be pretty bad.
I wish we could do the Party Artie link.
What, the one where he takes his shirt off?
It's my favorite. That dude is so hype.
Fudum, the goal of this category is reaching beat the boss of this dungeon. But
What happened?
who is missing IP for you, Maxim?
Artie.
Why did Darby go? That scared me. I thought maybe I pushed something wrong. I was like,
He's-
Artie has spells. Why are you doing this? He has zap.
leave me alone, sir.
You are not giving your 5 minutes over time for this, good sir. I'm calling shenanigans on
I
this.
have to... It's not my fault they won't give me 2 coppers. It's not my fault. The game is... It's a
God.
very nice game. Oh man, like this game, it's a good game. I love it. I love this game. Oh my god. This is a problem.
You are the reason Fiesel is face-palming, right? I know
This is
he
a
is.
problem. This is a major problem.
Yes, this is a issue.
That bush. If that bush wasn't there, I would have gotten out of this. Alright. This is gonna also hold me back a little bit. Alright, good. Good! I gotta find a dragon. I'm already not opening chests. I need a good dragon. Hey, there's a couple good ones surrounded by this awful enemy, the worst enemy in the game. Okay, let's just move him over to the side.
Zack, you have 6 minutes. Why? Artie doesn't need the IP.
You don't need the IP.
No, I don't, but I'm having it anyway because I am building up my IP points faster than Artie.
Dude, it's not my fault. If the game just did what I wanted it to do, we wouldn't be in this situation.
Shadow,
All it has to do is do what I want it to do. This isn't...
Always silver and gold.
Yeah, that's very unusual, too. I need coppers.
Yeah.
And
Did you ever find
about
Trick,
to just
Zack?
go for it. Huh?
Did you ever find Trick?
No.
That's unfortunate.
Alright. I rigged it. I just kind of ghetto-rigged it just now. We're fine. I'm gonna get it now.
Ghetto-rigged it?
Yes. I had to do it in a really stupid way, but we did it.
This is the best part of the game.
Oh man, here it goes. Oh,
So-
oh no! Oh no 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 no! No! Oh! Thank God I remembered. Oh, thank God I remembered.
Oh,
Out of
Darby.
here, you little cretin!
So he's trying to farm IP. These, like Volt said, called Cinder Blast, which will give him good IP. He wanted to switch Darby's for kill him, because there's always the chance of him doing that.
What floor are you on right now? By the way, you're at 85 something?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
need the IP. I want to kill this thing. Mr. Dragon! Alright, here we go. We're good.
Oh boy.
Oh my God, the pressure is on, but I think we'll be fine. I think. And the worst thing is, I'm probably still gonna run into an Archfiend, and it's just gonna instantly kill the next person. We're
Yeah,
gonna go back to square one.
I was gonna say, you still have to clear a lot of rooms. Like, wouldn't
We're
it be simpler at least to do this
fine.
later?
We're gonna be fine. He's only physically attacked everyone but Artie. It's fine. Yeah, everyone but Artie. It's fine.
Oh, if he's on 89, he's past Arch.
Yeah, I'm past him. I just got dodge dragons and stuff. Oh my God! I've left, dude. It's happening. It's happening.
So this is the part of the game which runs have died so much because you need the IP and you try to get it and then the dragons just don't want to cooperate.
Oh, thank God. I probably should. No, Artie might die in the front row. All right. That's what we wanted to have.
Yay. You probably don't need full IP.
No, I just need like 2 shots of it. There we go, that's fine. I got 2 hits. As long as it's over 66, I should be fine. It's definitely over 66, because there's no point using a third one. Alright, that's enough.
Okay, that's all he needs. Now he just has to get to the bottom.
Oh my God, we're gonna hit a dragon con. Oh my God.
Easy, right?
You had to say it.
No,
IP.
no dragon con. I just... When you spawn in the hallways this late, you get a little scared.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I don't like it. So IP, for those who don't know, is kind of like
This is bad.
it's a gauge that fills up so you can use kind of like limit breaks, like Volt said earlier.
Alright, we gotta play the waiting game here, unfortunately.
Just getting trolled a little bit.
Okay.
We're fine. If one goes out and one just gets in a good position, we'll be fine. But if they both stay here, it's a problem. Alright, looks like one left. Looks like the other one's slowly leaving.
I remember watching you play games
Oh my god.
where you were in a similar situation and a third dragon appeared, and he joined the other two.
This is a problem, and that Necro being there is the worst possible thing. I could have made that, but that Necro ruined it. He scared me into submission. Alright, Mr. Dragon. Mr. Dragon. Down. There we go. Who's a good dragon? You're a good okay, let's get out of here. We don't have a lot of time for that. Okay, we're good. Dude, that other dragon was really far, by the way. Oh, look! There's no chest in this room. Oh, wait, we're good. There's stairs. Alright, we're good. We're good.
We never really talked about that. So if you get into a floor and you do purge room, there's a good chance there's a monster room on that floor. Kind of like we talked about earlier, even though this cave, oftentimes you'll find yourself in a large room that will always have 4 chests in it. So if you find one in the top left and top right, there's probably one in the bottom left and bottom right.
Alright, we got a really good string of stairs, so
Yeah.
I mean, this is horrible.
As you can see, he's getting a lot of good luck on stairs right now, spawning very close to him.
Why did you say that?
Well, he had luck at this point. That's just a fact. The cave can do nothing about that. That is a statement. But yeah, this is one of those points where we discussed earlier. It's a make or break part of the game. It could have ended a lot worse on that regard, but as you could just see, he breezed through 7 floors in less than a minute.
So there are 99 floors. He's on 97. Almost there. And once he gets there, there are no enemies. So just a little, you gotta be patient, don't do anything reckless, and hopefully we will be there soon.
Oh my god.
He's not getting chests because he doesn't need anything. He's just trying to get past the enemies and safely make it to the bottom.
Also remember, the ancient cave punishes those who are greedy. It really does.
Something back there. I need to know where my stairs are.
They're up here somewhere.
Well, they're around. I only have like 2 more. Oh, they're probably in this big room. Yeah, that's fine. They're up here. No big deal. We're good. Like we're on the last floor. We just have to find the stairs, and we are at the jelly for the second year in a row, and we'll be okay.
And usually, I don't know if he's going to do it this time. During the last part of this run, because he did no spoilers, please. And we'll kind of all just watch together and see what happens. And I just want to point out, well, I'm not going to, okay. I just want to point out that making it to the jelly period is huge. It is an accomplishment in itself. It's not easy to do. It did take a little longer than we hoped, but it's still a huge deal. So congrats, Zack, thank you. Congrats.
I wonder if I like this setup though. I think I do. I think I like that. Sky Sword, Cancer Rock, Decker Blade, Lizard Blow, and I forgot to equip the Deadly Armor, but that's no big deal. Deadly Sword.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to go.
Does Guy have any triple damage attacks, or are you just going to stick to Cancer Rock?
No, they don't really get one. That's why I was going with Cancer Rock, because the only triple weapon they get is Thunder Axe. I don't have anything else for them, so I figured I'd give the Lizard Blow to Max.
IP-wise, is Cancer Rock better than Gorgon Rock or Hydora Rock, whatever?
I have 2 shots with the Deadly plus a Decker. I think I'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, in this situation with the Deadly and the Decker, the Cancer Rock is the better choice, just for the raw damage. So as I said a long time ago about the translation from Japanese to English and deleting a tile set, that's what happened to this floor.
That would have been stupid.
As well as the dual blade shrine in the main game. So whenever you see this and it's all funky and you don't know why, that's why one of the translators deleted a tile set which caused everything to screw up. It was fixed in the PAL version, right? PAL version's fixed, and Dutch version is fixed, I believe.
Yes, the German version as well, I think.
Okay.
Okay, I think this is the best setup, so we're gonna go ahead and just go for it. There's not a whole lot else I can do here.
Did you put Darby in his last form?
Yeah, double checking, but yes, I did. Okay.
Alright.
I think that's it. That's what we got.
So this fight, you have 3
I'll
rounds.
be quiet for here on out.
Okay. The jelly has 9,980 HP. He does not attack. He will just stand there. He will heal you. He will restore your MP, and he will do nothing. So he has 3 rounds to do all of that damage. As you'll see, he's going to be using his percentage attacks at the beginning to do the most damage he can. He doesn't have Trick, unfortunately, which Trick is boosts your attack power, so he'll be doing more damage.
Oh, I forgot to move my characters in the front row. Whatever. It's not a big deal.
You'll be alright. You can patch the glitch, yeah, you can. So hopefully we get a good fatal blow roll. Normally you...
Oh!
Ooh, nice.
Alright. Try not to
There's
spoil.
1,800.
You want about 4,500 to 5,000, that's great. Especially for all the damage you did before. It is 50%, but there's a range to it. So, yeah.
No, it's actually 50% plus the damage that your normal attack would do on.
Right.
So he did 4,700 damage, that means he has about 4,350 left.
That second devastation was almost not even needed.
So, yeah, they didn't make a new sprite for the jelly, they just took the normal jelly and blew it up. So it's nice and pixelated. It's fun. Like, they knew they were having fun with this. It's pretty fun.
It's just amazing that the rarest to encounter enemy in this game is a red jelly.
I'd like to thank you guys again for letting me in the marathon. That's 2 years in a row, hopefully. I'm not sure yet.
Don't lie. After that first round, this was pretty easy.
Oh, and that's Sizzle Smash. Nice.
Congratulations, Zach.
GG.
Oh man, that was crazy.
Good fight. Congratulations. Yeah.
And that is time.
That's it.
Alright, we went a little bit over, but I mean, we got it. I knew
Couldn't
it was
be helped,
really
right?
behind at the beginning, but we caught up really fast. I was 20 minutes behind, and then I caught up. Man, that was good.
Hey, that was a solid run. It really was.
It really was. I only dropped 25,000 frames. Nothing too bad. It actually stopped. I think it was 24,000
still got to see half your
ago.
run.
What's that?
People still got to see half your run.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. Thank you guys for letting me do this again this year. I'm so you know. The thing about this run is people don't really like it in marathons too much because they're like, well, what happens if you lose halfway through? And I understand. But, you know, from doing this so much, like, it's been so many years. Like, I could say 2 years ago, we were saying a Decker Blade by itself, you can't kill the jelly. No matter what else you have. If you only have a Decker Blade, you can't kill it. And look at this, we completely destroyed it. This is what, 10 marathons in a row that I have not died in the Ancient Cave. I feel like that's got to amount to something that can't just be RNG. I feel like the way that we've progressed, that this is a possible run. I'm gonna make a number here. I'm gonna say this is a possible run 80% of the time. Maybe a deadly weapon chance of time. I really do. This is a really good run. I really wish that they'd allow this in a bigger marathon, but I understand. But it was great. I'm glad that we got to complete it a second time, and you guys, thank y'all for the commentary. I like always having more than one person. Y'all did a really good job, and it was fun, definitely.
Well, I enjoyed giving the commentary, and it is always... I hope people enjoyed it, and, well, I wish the next runner luck on his run, or run. I don't know who's next.
I think we have Super Mario World next. The 96 exit? Yeah, that's
Oh
gonna
right,
be awesome.
That's
GDF
right.
is playing. That is going to be all the excitement. I am looking forward to it.
Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. I'll probably just relax the rest of the evening and watch some speed running on my terrible internet.
All right, Zach, thank you for the game, and it was really a pleasure being here. And thank you, chat and cast, for everything. And good luck to everyone else.
Yeah, good luck to everyone else. It was awesome. Thank you all again. Thank you, Feasel, everyone, the staff. Shout out to the staff. Thank you all for letting me do this again. I really love doing it.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, man.